The New York Jets just added even more offensive line depth. What is going on, guys? Matt O'Leary here with another video. Today I wanted to talk about the New York Jets adding even more offensive line depth. Before we get started, you can follow along on socials, Matt O'Leary NY, and also new episodes of the Just Jets podcast drop every single Wednesday. So the New York Jets have signed former Patriot Yodny Cajuste. He has played in a few games, handful of games, so he has some starting experience. He was a third-round pick in 2019 by the New England Patriots. He played in 10 games this past year, 7 in 2021, so 17 games he's appeared in, 5 starts over that time, so he is someone who has starting experience, even if it is limited. He's been okay when he's come in and played, not starting level. So, I mean, obviously, if you're adding someone this late in the offseason, it's really more for depth purposes. But 3 sacks and 12 pressures allowed last year playing at right tackle. He's played right tackle in each of the last 2 years. Some snaps were at inline tight end, but on the offensive line side of things, it's pretty much exclusively been right tackle. And he is a significantly better run blocker than he is in pass protection. He struggles a little bit in pass pro, but is relatively solid as a run blocker in a, it's a small sample size, but just what we've seen from him at the NFL level. Now, the Jets are very obviously adding as much depth as humanly possible on the offensive line, which is a great thing. I love the idea of competition, and I love the idea of having depth at the position. Right now, the tackle spots sound like they are very much so up for grabs, right? Like Dwayne Brown brought back, he started at left tackle last year, probably is the front runner to start again at left tackle. I know that, Mekhi Becton wants to come back and start at left tackle. And yes, he may have the highest ceiling of the group. He hasn't played in 2 years. And I would assume that Dwayne Brown, it wasn't going to just come back for, giggles, and giggles. He probably has a inside track to win the left tackle job. Again, I'm rooting for Mekhi Becton to win that job because I think he would have the highest ceiling. But it wouldn't shock me if Dwayne Brown was the opening day left tackle, which means right tackle is very much up for grabs. And who knows if Mekhi wants to play on that side. Mekhi was very critical of the New York Jets and moving him over to the right side. He believes that's why he got hurt last year. But now when you just add another guy in Cajuste to the mix, you have Billy Turner, who you brought in, Carter Warren, who you drafted this year. You have Max Mitchell, who's coming back from an injury, and someone who played relatively well last year in a small sample size. So you have options, and you don't want to be in a spot, because you saw it last year, unfortunately, with the New York Jets, where you have some offensive linemen go down and the whole unit falls apart, which is true. At the end of the year, the offensive line as a unit was downright abysmal. So they're trying to prevent that from being the case this year. Easier said than done. But I like the idea of adding more depth. I will never, ever complain about adding offensive line depth. And, there's no guarantee that someone like Cajuste is making this team. Although, sure, maybe they are carrying 11 offensive linemen, something nuts like that. But, we've seen what injuries to the offensive line can do in derailing a season. Joe Douglas is trying to do his best in preventing that. So I'm very interested to see what he looks like during training camp and how this offensive line competition shakes out. So something to watch for over the next few weeks into training camp and into the preseason. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Once again, I am Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you next time.